It was 728 days ago. The Birds walked up the field losers in Super Bowl 57, but Sunday night, they not only enacted their revenge, but Jalen Hurts, Vic Fangio, and the Philly defensive line pulled off something we've never seen in NFL history. Plus, what caused Patrick Mahomes to have the worst game of his career, why the Eagles are not going anywhere anytime soon, and how the two most disrespected people in the entire NFL finally got the last laugh. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. The Eagles did not just win their second Super Bowl in franchise history. They did not just dominate the back-to-back defending champs. They did not just make the best quarterback in the world look like a deer in headlights. They completely silenced all the doubters. The people who said Vic Fangio's defensive scheme was completely washed, and the people who said Nick Sirianni was a clown of a head coach. People who called Jake the Make Missy Elliott. The people who called Jalen Hurts a running quarterback who wasn't worthy of being considered a top 15 signal caller in the entire NFL. And the Birds' response was to go out on the biggest stage in front of the entire world and pull off the most dominant Super Bowl win in the last decade. And so naturally, let's do a giveaway to start today's show. 1 Super Bowl hat, 1 Super Bowl t-shirt, and 1 Super Bowl towel to 3 different people who drop a like on today's show, are of course subscribed, and leaves a comment down below. Oh, and I think now is the best time to announce my biggest giveaway yet. I was gonna wait for 100,000 subs, but myself and Josh Davis are teaming up to bring 2 subscribers to Philadelphia to the NovaCare Complex this offseason for a Philly Dogs ice cream party with Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Nakobe Dean, and the rest of the Eagle Georgia Bulldogs. More details to come, but this is going to be the biggest giveaway yet. Make sure you guys are subscribed so you can know when to enter, and obviously to possibly win your chance to go to Philadelphia with me and Josh. Now, the biggest storyline from last night, broken down to its simplest form, was the play from the defense, and most specifically, the defensive line. The Birds created 25 pressures, 11 quarterback hits, and 6 sacks, all without blitzing a single time the entire game. Josh Sweat and Milton Williams, 2 of Philly's biggest pending free agents, both had the best games of their entire careers, and Vic Fangio and company had Patrick Mahomes running for his life all game long. And in the end, Fangio's defense finished with the 4th best Super Bowl DVOA performance in NFL history, only behind other legendary defenses like the 2000 Ravens, 85 Bears, and 2002 Bucks.
Oh man, he goated up. He goated up, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Vic, man, he did an amazing job up there in that booth, man. He was up there calm as ever, must be. Yeah. Boy, look here, he was calling his ass off today, man. We appreciate him, man.
I have never seen Patrick Mahomes this rattled. He was awful all game long. The Chiefs offense punted or turned the ball over on their 9 first drives on offense. And Travis Kelce and the rest of the OC weapons for KC were complete non-factors.
They played great. There's no way around it. I mean, they played great from start to finish. They got after it. Defensive line played really well. The DBs played well to complement them, and linebackers as well. And so, like I said, I mean, I can't turn the ball over early in the game when it's not going our way, and I'll have to learn from that and try to be better the next opportunity that I hopefully get.
Didn't get it going offensively. I mean, they just got after us on all 3 phases, and then on top of that, you know, turnovers, penalties, playing behind the sticks on offense is just drop passes, not taking advantage of, you know, the play call and executing. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. You don't lose like that without everything going bad. So
defense played their ass off. They played how they played all year, you know, and I truly believe offense wins games, but defense wins championships, and how that defense has been able to play. It's a great testament to them.
The quote-unquote greatest quarterback of our generation finished with an 11 QBR, 3 turnovers, and the most sacks in any game he's ever played. And the best part of all of this is Vic Fangio obviously is not going anywhere, and he is the youngest defense in the entire National Football League. The defense you saw on the screen just last night is going to be here for a very long time, and the rest of the NFL is going to have to figure out how to stop him. Also, quick shout out to Cooper DeJean and Zack Baun. My goodness, the 2 newest additions on this defense, they completely changed the team for the better, and boy, did they ball out on the biggest stage possible. To Zack Baun, I know you're a free agent. I've heard he's going to come back to Philadelphia from people on his team. Give the man a blank check, Howie. He has got to be back wearing 53 for many years to come in Philadelphia. Also, I want to give a massive shout out to Dane Johnson and his team at Crohn's Colitis Lifestyle, which, by the way, this is not a paid ad. I was actually diagnosed with IBD about 4 years ago, and Dane and his team of IBD specialists have completely changed my life. CCL features private coaching from people who actually beat IBD themselves, and they focus on fixing root causes of your symptoms instead of just pills and weird diets. And it's not just me they've helped. They have over 500 plus recorded success stories of reversing symptoms and normalizing your lab work. And if you or somebody you know has IBD, you know how rough the symptoms can be, and Dane was able to get my symptoms about 95% normal in a little less than 2 weeks. And I think I went through like 4 doctors before Dane, none of which could figure out what was going on with me. Dane was the only person who could. I've been working with Dane and his team over at CCL for a little over 5 months, and I truly believe 100% in what they're doing, which is why I'm sharing with you guys today. So right now, if you or somebody else you know actually has IBD, then just go down below my description box, click the link. You'll get a 100% free, totally no strings attached private session to discuss your case. And from there, Dane and his team will build you a custom gut health protocol to help improve your symptoms. Plus, you'll get $200 off their IBD coaching. I cannot stress them enough. They are fantastic. I love them so much. I want to share them with everybody watching my show. Check out CCL today. Now, speaking of blank checks, quick shout out to Howie Roseman for writing all these checks to all the new additions. He has put together 3 straight incredible off seasons, and I think this past year was the best off season of any GM in recent NFL history. Last night was the culmination of all of his hard work in free agency, in the NFL draft, signing contracts, and right now there is no better GM in the league heading into the next offseason in 2025. And there's also no one better than Jalen Hurts. Like, Jalen Hurts, man, was just unbelievable last night. He finally, once and for all, put all of his haters to bed. Not just in the Super Bowl, but in this postseason, as over the past 4 games, Hurts completed 82% of his passes for 920 total yards, 10 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Philadelphia scored the most points in the history of the NFL postseason and finished with a plus 70-point differential. And Hurts is now 2-1 all-time versus Patrick Mahomes and has never lost to Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, and Matthew Stafford. He's now outperformed Patrick Mahomes twice on the biggest stage and becomes the second quarterback in NFL history to score 3 touchdowns and have a 70% completion percentage in multiple Super Bowls, the other being the GOAT Tom Brady. From the ups and downs of his polarizing college career to getting drafted as a backup in Philadelphia and constantly being told he would never become a passing quarterback who won from the pocket, Hurts would have an incredible 2022 but lose to the Super Bowl and then constantly be thrown to the side for other quarterbacks in 2023. I can't express what Jalen winning that game yesterday does for his career, does for his future, and even the usually quiet Hurts post-game seemed to be soaking all in what he just accomplished on the biggest stage.
I think in the end, it comes down to how people look at you. I'm going to always be the same guy. And I was telling someone earlier, I'm that same kid. I'm that same kid that, went to the national championship and lost and went back and, got benched and had to transfer and had to go through this just unprecedented journey. And that kid always kept the main thing, and always was true to his vision and what he saw. It's been a long journey. It's been a journey of ups and downs and highs and lows, and I've always stayed true to it in the end, and having this vision of just being the best that I can be, and that evolving over time into this desire and this flame inside to win. And you don't do great things without the guys around you.
Yeah, just his preparation, his resiliency. His poise each and every game, he's a special one. He just keeps getting better. He knows how to win. He does a great job of being able to block out all the outside noise. I think it's, I find it funny when it's like, well, Jalen is good because he's got a good team around him. Like, that's football. Like, again, you cannot be great without the greatness of others. Like, Jalen can't do it by himself. He needs AJ. He needs that offensive line. He needs Saquon. And vice versa. The reason Saquon has a special year, not only the offensive line, but the attention that Jalen commands for the run game. He's special. Jalen's special.
And the craziest part is Hurts did all of that on Sunday night, basically without Saquon Barkley, who certainly helped in his own way, just being a decoy on the field and obviously making some key blocks and pass protection. But it was the quietest night of the season for the all-world running back. Although technically he still did set the record for the most rushing yards in an NFL season, including the playoffs, and now adds a ring to an already young, stellar career. Turned 28 on the same night was just the icing on the cake for the Bird superstar running back who changed Philadelphia for the better this year and signed for the next couple of years, and so hopefully he continues this for many years to come. Oh, and speaking of being here for many years to come, Nick Sirianni last night, he just earned a massive contract extension. I cannot express how good I feel for Nick Sirianni to actually win a Super Bowl after the hate and the career he's had being the head coach in Philadelphia. I think last night's win did more for Nick Sirianni than any other Eagle combined. He was a head coach that people called from day one an absolute clown. A head coach that everyone said was simply a product of the people around him. And a head coach that even guys like myself wanted fired after the Bucs debacle earlier this season. That guy now is, well, a Super Bowl champion and holds the best winning record percentage of any coach in the entire NFL. He's now been to the playoffs every single year he's been a head coach in Philadelphia, also been to 2 Super Bowls, and now has officially won one. And whether or not you agree with his antics or his approach or his X's and O's, you can't deny that he is a leader of men and someone who understands how to push the right buttons to make his team great. I'm so darn happy for Nick Sirianni. I really can't explain it. No one deserves this more than him, and I was so pumped to see how excited he was pre-game, sideline, post-game, and obviously hoisting the Lombardi trophy.
I think we just stuck to our process. I think a lot of things got blown, kind of 2 and 2. The outside world, we just, had an opinion on what was going on and everything there, and we just stuck to our process and got better from it. Did some things a little differently, got better from a couple things. I think at the end of the day, you saw this team embrace adversity throughout the entire year. Now, it's hard to say that when you won 16 out of your last 17, but there was adversity. There's adversity constantly. And I think we did a good job of embracing that, the ups and downs of a season, and getting better from the things that we went through.
Now, the game itself started basically as the same one 2 years ago, with Hurts and Eagles offense driving right down the field on the Chiefs' D, only hindered by this horrific pass interference call. What was this on A.J. Brown? Took a big fourth down conversion off the board. Thankfully, though, the Birds' defense, they would start their epic night red hot and stay that way the rest of the evening. A third down stop of Patrick Mahomes. A little bit of a makeup call here for, obviously, the refs. Bad call on that first drive. Hurts, though, would stay red hot, get a penalty of his own on this clear helmet-to-helmet on Dallas Goedert. That moves the chains and sets up the perfectly thrown deep ball to Jahan Dotson, of all people. Got the Birds down to the 1, where they would obviously brotherly shove their way to a 7-0 lead. And stop me if you hear this a lot in the next couple of minutes, but Mahomes and company would struggle once again to move the football, which would give the ball back to Jalen Hurts, who would set up a great drive by the offense, only hindered by the one bad throw of the night by Jalen. This is not the best throw here, giving the ball back to the Kansas City Chiefs. It's crazy that was the one bad decision of Jalen Hurts' entire postseason run. The one turnover in the past 4 games, and it wasn't even that bad. It was a great disguised blitz, and Jalen, tried to get the football in A.J. Brown's hands, underthrew it a little bit because of Nick Bolton in his face. Not the worst turnover of his career, but crazy it was the only blemish in the entire postseason. And the best part of it all was Mahomes couldn't capitalize, as this pass to Kelsey would go right into the dirt on 3rd and 3 and forced yet another punt by KC. Birds' next drive started red hot, 3rd and 7, back shoulder throw to A.J. Brown, what a strike! And then 4 plays later, how about Jake the Make Elliott with his first of 4 perfect field goals to give the Birds a 10-0 lead. The Chiefs' offensive line would then start to crumble as Josh Sweat would get the sack party going with this incredible play on Patrick Mahomes. And then 1 play later, how about rookie Jalix Hunt entering the chat, the huge bull rush on the all-world guard Joe Thuney, and this game was starting to get ugly. Because 1 play later on 3rd and 16, Cooper DeJean stepping in front of the rolling Patrick Mahomes, catching the football, the interception, the pick 6 to the house. It was a Super Bowl backbreaker for the 22-year-old birthday boy who knew right away as soon as he touched that football, he had reservations for 6. Out of all the additions this offseason, I think Cooper DeJean might be the biggest. We do not fully appreciate just how not so great the nickel cornerback spot was pre-Cooper DeJean and how incredibly dominant he was post-Cooper DeJean. I mean, my goodness, he completely changed this Bird secondary, and he had a massive night on his birthday and proved to the world that as a rookie, he's this good. Imagine where he is 1 year from now. Mahomes would then start the next drive with yet another sack. That was the story of his night. Giving the ball back to Jalen Hurts, who we kind of forget didn't do much with that next drive when they were up 17 and would punt the football back to Mahomes with a shot only down 3 scores with 2 minutes left. Although that quickly died because Zack Baun immediately picked off Patrick Mahomes inside the Chiefs' red zone thanks to insane pressure once again from Josh Sweat, who had easily the best night of his entire career. Baun's ability to track and hold on to this ball is just a microcosm of his 2024 campaign. Like, from a special teamer to the best linebacker in football, he's going to re-sign with the Birds. The question really is, how much is it going to cost us? Speaking of cost, and Hurts and A.J. Brown would connect to make the Chiefs pay for a 24-0 lead. A.J. was cooking, Jalen was cooking, the defense was cooking. This thing was virtually a wrap, especially after DeAndre Hopkins would drop the wide open pass right at the end of the second half. You thought Mahomes could maybe get a spark here. Nope, big drop. Birds going to halftime with a huge lead. And following a 40-minute halftime break, the Bird defense showed no signs of letting up, sacking Patrick Mahomes on back-to-back plays to start quarter number 3, further showing the sheer dominance of this line even after the Chiefs had a whole half to try to change things up. Hurts' legs were then the theme of the Birds' first second-half drive, and paired up with this nice helmet catch from Saquon, gave the Birds a red zone possession that they couldn't eventually convert, although Jake the Make would make another kick and further extend the Birds' lead. Also, quick shout out to BG. The following drive, he didn't play much, but was really good. I'm surprised he's retiring after this game. He was so close to getting a sack all night long. It's just awesome, though, to see BG go out there and not only play in a championship game, but finish his career now as a 2-time Super Bowl winner. Throwing Avonte Maddox with a pass breakup on 4th down, something you didn't think you'd say in a Super Bowl, and if you thought Philadelphia was going to take their foot off the gas following that turnover on downs, you would be wrong, as Hurts would hit Smitty on a deep strike to blow the game absolutely wide open and make Devontae Smith the first Alabama player in NFL history to score a touchdown in a Super Bowl. Now, Mahomes and company would finally start to kind of stat pad and figure things out late in the 3rd quarter, as he found Xavier Worthy for a touchdown to erase a 34-0 deficit, but clearly it was too little too late. Jake Elliott would add yet another field goal, and then how about this bull rush from Milton Williams? The strip sack of Patrick Mahomes, the recovery. I thought Mahomes' arm was going to tear out of his socket right here. What a play by Milton Williams, who is going to get the biggest contract of his career this offseason by someone else in the league. Mahomes and Worthy would stat pad a little more in garbage time to make sure those who didn't watch the entire game go, oh, I guess it wasn't Mahomes' fault. He wasn't that bad. But the Birds were up so big, they could start celebrating with a Gatorade bath of Nick Sirianni with 2 minutes left, and they smoked the two-time defending Super Bowl champions 40-22 and Super Bowl 59. Oh, and yes, Broad Street last night, in case you weren't there, it was rocking. It was unbelievably chaotic. Hopefully you guys were safe. The tears on both sidelines, they were flowing. Philadelphia will have another Super Bowl parade now confirmed this Friday in what expects to be a celebration for the ages. And that's a wrap on the 2024 season. So what do we do now? Well, first off, enjoy this, because as Eagle fans, we know Super Bowls are extremely hard to go ahead and win. It's been 7 years since our last one, which was our first one. This is a win for the ages. And Monday morning here recording this video, I am exhausted, but still living off of a high. The Birds are Super Bowl champions yet again. But once the fun is officially over, the work for a repeat, it's probably already begun, with key free agents obviously needing to be re-signed, hint, hint, Zack Baun, and others obviously going to be let go. Then Howie will walk into a free agency of his own and try and nail that once again in March, followed by an April draft where hopefully the Birds can bring in more impactful rookies for another season. A couple of quiet offseason months in May and June, and then end of July, turn around, training camp will start again, and the Birds will try and repeat for the first time in franchise history. And I'll be covering the entire offseason here, as I always do, and so be sure to subscribe, stay tuned, and see how the Birds retool things to go for another Super Bowl run. Also, shout out to all the winners last night during our Super Bowl giveaway. I've heard from the t-shirt winner and the DeJean helmet winner. Waiting on Philadelphia Eagle fan 892 to tell me about the jersey. You got to go down to my description box, shoot me an email, prove it to you. I'll get that sent out as soon as possible. And finally, a massive thank you to all of you guys for watching my show, from taking me to 0 subscribers to 83,000 in just under 2 years, to potentially making this one of the biggest Eagle channels in the entire world, and just putting up with me on a daily basis, watching my show, hitting the like button, subscribing, commenting. It's not lost on me, and I promise you, it's going to be an even better offseason. The giveaway, obviously, hopefully one of you gets to go ahead and meet the Philly Dogs during my 100,000 subscriber giveaway. I just can't wait for what everything that's going to happen. And now, to finish the season as Super Bowl champions, it's not lost on me how lucky I am, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And so, for the final time in terms of wrapping up an Eagle game this season, but getting ready for the offseason, I'm Thomas Mott. The Birds are Super Bowl champions. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.